Hi, teammates. This is Sean J. McCall. As usual, I am your host for the Eurostep, where, yeah, I've got some interesting guests to tell their stories so everyone can get a good picture of European basketball in general. But we have a lot of guests that have a European influence. My guest tonight is no exception, although he's got a little bit of a American flavor to his German style. I'm not even going to do too much intro. I'm just going to get him in, and then he can introduce himself shortly. So let's see. No, it didn't accept. It didn't work the first time. Come on. There we go. Yo,
Yeah, what's good?
yo, what's up, man? Wait, hold on. Let me fix my camera.
Hear me
Turn up
fine?
the
That's
sound a
that's
little
fine.
bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
Okay.
fine. Okay, let's get this show on the road, DJ. DJ, we know each other a while going back. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people and tell them where you play at right now?
My name is Dominique Johnson. I'm 31 years old. I think this
Damn!
is my uh I think this might be my 13th year pro. Year 13, I want to say.
Okay.
And I play in Pro A Koblenz right now. EPG Baskets Koblenz in
Okay.
Germany.
Shout out to Koblenz. Um, yeah, man. I'm thankful that you came on, and like I said before, we know each other a while back. I'm really glad to have you on to tell your story, because what I like about your story is that you've got that American background with growing up here in Germany, and that's the story that I want to really get out there for those
Hmm.
Europeans that have American pops or American moms or something like that, and still grow up in another country. I think that's something that's pretty interesting about your story. But yeah, let's go all the way back. Let's first start with your dad is American and your mom is German, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, my pops, he's from Cleveland originally.
Mhm.
And came over with the army, met my mom's over here in Bremerhaven. And yeah, this and then I came around 92 and obviously he was playing. He never played really like pro basketball, but in high school coming over just playing here in the leagues or whatever, lower leagues. And yeah, he just took me to all the games or it took me to the gym when they had practice. So when I was a toddler, when I was little, I was already in the gym.
Mhm.
And then I started playing basketball, organized basketball. I want to say starting 6 years, my sixth birthday. I went to
Mhm.
my first practice in Bremerhaven, and then yeah, that's where it all started.
Your pops is a big dude.
Yeah, sure is. He's like 2 meters and like
Your pops is a big dude.
big.
Don't want to mess
Yeah,
with him.
yep. No, sure don't. No,
So
but this I think that's
um
where I got my size from too.
so then, but you started out playing here in Bremerhaven, but then you moved back to the States to Alabama. You were there just for your high school years, or were you there longer?
No, I was only for 3 years basically, so I didn't even do the whole high school.
Mhm.
We moved out '06, so when I was in eighth grade,
Mhm.
I did 1 year of middle school, and then I did 2 years of high school, ninth and tenth grade, and then after that we came back to Germany. So I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for 3 years. Did high school over there, and then we decided to come back because it was just a better situation for us as a family. And then yeah, I went back to Bremerhaven.
Something I've always wanted to ask you: How was it for you growing up being mixed, but you can pass either way. You can pass for a white dude. If you know black people, you know that you black,
Yeah.
but you kind of got like that pass for both sides. How was it for you growing up, being mixed in both worlds, in America and here? Did you feel like, did you fit in, like when you were growing up? Did you feel like you fit in somewhere?
Um, yeah, that's actually a good question. So I mean, being over here is just more like nobody really like it's just like yeah, they don't see the mixed, they just like oh I'm white. So, but I acted more like I guess I was black
Yeah,
or more American than
yeah.
than German, and when I went to the States, it's like that was actually the first time somebody looked at me from the jump and was like, "You mix, huh?" And I'm like, "How you know?" And it was like, "Yeah, I can tell by the way you look. It's just in my art what I gave gave away, whatever."
Right.
So that was actually the first time. And but even in the States, I think I hung out with more black people than white people because it's like I played football, I played basketball, and it was like black dominant basically. And then I played soccer, and it was like all white kids and Mexicans, and it was just like so. Yeah, I think I got best of both worlds. But when I'm over here, I'm more American. When I'm in the States, I'm more German. So yeah.
That's pretty dope, actually. Actually, that's pretty dope. Um, so you came back to Bremerhaven and you started your career pretty much there in the youth program. What was it like back then? Because back then, that's when the under 19 NBBL kind of had just started when you were coming up through that part of your career. Um, what was like your goal when you were a young dude? Was it like NBA or bust, or was it I just want to play to the highest level that I can?
Um, so my goal basically always was I want to be a pro.
Mhm.
Obviously, yeah, I said I want to get to the NBA, but I think realizing me playing NBBL and seeing what kind of talent there was, and seeing kind of how far First League still was. I mean, you play NBBL, the youth Bundesliga, but it was just like me realizing, okay, that's a far step. I kind of was realistic enough to be like, okay, NBA is a long shot, but I can make money or I can do what I love being a pro over here also. So I think NBL I kind of realized, okay, I can be a pro, and I understood that I think I can be good enough if I put in the work. And then it was just about actually putting in that work. But I kind of realized, okay, I can establish myself being over here, playing ball, and then I was just going year by year, basically seeing how far I can go. You know, there was not really like my mom was big on getting my degree, so I got my abitur first, and then she was like, all right, now you got something, because I didn't finish school in the States, but over here it's only 10 years, and then you get
Right.
I didn't do that because I was in the States, so I never really had anything to show if I wanted to work. So yeah, she was big on that, and then after that she was like, all right, now go for your dreams, do what you got to do. And then I was just going contract for contract 2 years in a row, just me playing, focusing on basketball, and seeing how far I can go.
What like for those of you that don't know, NBBL is over here in Germany is the under 19 league, and it's super ultra professional for youth league. They have the JBBL, which is under 16, and those two leagues are pretty much the way that youth players rise up and go through the system in Germany. Tell us a little bit about what it was like when you were coming up. You're playing NBBL. What what does that mean? Like, were you also practicing with the pro team? Because back then Bremerhaven was in the first league. Are you practicing with the pro team as well, or did they have a what is it, Regionalliga or
Hmm.
Pro B team or something like that? Would you play? Because it's not just playing NBBL, playing under 19. You also play on different teams. What was it? What was it like for you growing up?
So my first year when I was in the NBL, so I came back with 17, so I had 2 more years basically of NBL
Mhm.
since it's U19. And my first year, I played the NBL, and I played like 15 minutes or something like that. Then some of us helped out with the U18. So if you're under 18, you was able to play that league
Mhm.
too, just like the regional or whatever. And then I also played Oberliga. At that time, we had a Oberliga and we had a second Regionalliga. But like say not the top players on our team play Ober like the second half play Oberliga, the top players play Regionalliga.
Right.
And then my second year, I actually started playing NBBL. I played Regionalliga when I was 18. And then towards the end, towards the second half of the season, the first team pulled me up and I started practicing with them.
Mhm.
And I think the first time I actually sat on the bench was when I was 18, like the last couple games, and I sat on the bench for the playoff when they was in the playoffs. And that was a dope experience. But it was still like a long shot. It was still like, okay, you want to, you gotta, because I think at that time it was you gotta have six Germans. I think that's when
Right.
it started, the
Mhm.
German rule. And so obviously, they had some hurt Germans, so they was like, all right, you know what, you've been practicing with us, so sit on the bench, which was dope for me because I was just like, hey, I get to sit on the first league. I actually, get the field to run out, even to warm up. I didn't even have to play. I was super excited. And that was basically my first step into, being a pro and actually practicing with them and seeing how it goes. And that's when I felt like, okay, if I keep working, I can definitely play here.
For Germans, for young Germans that have a first league team in their city where they practice and hopefully sometimes play, that's a huge thing to be able to warm up with them, have an actual license, and yeah, like you said, just to be on the bench is cool, so that's like basically like a high school kid practicing with the Lakers from LA, practicing with the Lakers and then suiting up for a game, not playing but sitting on the bench. So like that's like the feeling
Yeah,
for young Germans, right?
exactly. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, because the young guys, they idolize. That's their idols. Like, yeah, they
Right.
get the NBA, but that's so far away, and the closest thing to them are the pros here. And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have a first league team, going through the youth program and then being able to sit on the bench, you get your own jersey, you got your name on it. It's like, it's like you playing a video game, and that's surreal at that time. And I think that can goes a long way, man. That actually like motivates a lot of guys just to that first step
Right.
into the door. And then, I mean, but obviously from there on out, you got to keep working. It's not, it's not given that you stay because there's a lot of young kids, and if they need somebody to sit on the bench, they don't really care who you are. It's like, oh, we need Germans, sit on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times they do get the talented kids out there that actually have a shot of playing.
Speaking of that, how do you think German basketball has developed since you were a kid in comparison from back then to now for young German players?
I think chances are a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
The chances grew, in my opinion, because I mean, now you see like all these kids back then. Didn't really sit on the you didn't really sit on the bench. I mean, I think my generation went like it started probably my year. That's when they actually started sitting more on the bench and getting more pulled up. Before that, I mean, nobody was really sitting on there. And even like my vets back then, they was like, "Man, you lucky already." And I felt like, "What you mean I'm lucky? I'm not playing. I get to practice every once in a while. I sat like 2 games on the bench. What you mean?" But they actually told me it was even worse back then. And I think nowadays, I mean, you see 16-year-old kids actually getting game time, like where I'm like, and it's just like, I don't know, just because of the rules and so many kids play Pro B, Pro A now at
Mm-hmm.
a young age, at 17, at 16, like Ludwigsburg, Bayern Munich, Frankfurt did a lot, where like they got the whole NBBL team basically playing Pro Bs, which is third league, and
Yeah.
that's already preparing them because they're playing against high level men's team to prepare them to go to first league. And I mean, it pays off, obviously, seeing a national team. I think the way they're going is actually good, and just got to keep building and keep, developing young Germans.
I think Germany's done an excellent job in developing their young Germans. Back when I was coaching, I remember that was kind of like the start. I remember going to one of the BBL coaches meetings, and that was like the start. The theme was about getting these young guys to play and not just sit on the bench, not just to fill the quota of 6 Germans on the floor. And I think they've done a really incredible job of giving those young Germans confidence that they can go and make mistakes and not be pulled out of the game right away and develop. I think another factor is coaching has gotten better. Coaching has changed. Like nowadays, you hardly see any American coaches in the first league.
Mm-hmm.
And back when I played, there were a ton.
Yeah.
So also developing German coaches, I think, is helped. Maybe not so much on the BBL level, but on the Pro A, Pro B level, there's a lot of German coaches right now.
No, it's 100%, 100%. I mean, it's it's always sound kind of bad, but I always feel like, a lot of times back then, it's just like coaches. I mean, you got to win to stay. Obviously, if a coach, yeah, you can develop all you want. If you don't win, you're
Yeah.
getting fired. Your job
Yeah.
is gone. They're just as bad as players, or you probably even worse. But I actually think also like the organization standing behind it and telling the coach, yo, we want them to play. We want to build it, and like the rewarding factor of like your coach knowing, okay, the organization's behind me. That also shows the coaches like, okay, hey, they build on me to, let Germans play or develop these guys, even if they're not German. I mean, there's a lot of young foreigners coming over here
Yeah.
that are getting game time,
Yeah.
looking at even at like higher levels. So, I mean, I think definitely like the coaches developing and seeing more. I mean, here in Germany, obviously, local faces that people can
Exactly.
relate to, I think helps a lot too.
Speaking of the national team, um, did you ever play on any youth national teams?
No, I never did.
Did you have the American passport only, or did you have both at some point?
No, I got both from the get-go, from the jump.
Uh,
When I was born, I got both.
okay.
I don't know. I mean, when I left, I was 14, and that's when kind of like that national team stuff, or like
Hmm.
that's when it started. But I left.
Right.
So when
But you're gone.
I came back, and I mean, I wasn't on the radar. It was not, like all people knew me or whatever. And when I came back, I started paying the bill. My first year was okay, and I mean, my coach was fighting, like, was asking them if they invite me or whatever, but never happened. I wasn't mad about it, but it's just, I don't know. I think I kind of missed that window. Sometimes
Hmm.
I feel like DBB, they have their little lists or whatever of people that watch, and if somebody actually like really sticks out and it does amazing, yeah, they're gonna invite them because they have to. But I think other than that, it's a lot of politics. I have no idea. It's just my opinion. But I mean, at the end of the day, I still got to where I am
Yeah.
even without it. So I'm proud of that.
So after you played in Bremerhaven, then you moved to where?
Actually, I went to Braunschweig after that.
That's when you came to Braunschweig.
Yep, yep,
So
yep.
that's the next spot. So we're going to talk about Braunschweig because that's where I met you. And actually, I think I met you initially playing against you in BBL, but here in Braunschweig is where I got the chance to see you from day to day. So I can definitely see your rise as you've done it through the years. So I was pretty close to that those years in Braunschweig. What do you think that time for you meant to you? The time in Braunschweig. What were you here? 3 years?
3, yeah.
3 years. What was that time for you like for your development?
I think it was major.
Mm-hmm.
All honesty. I mean, just seeing different coaches actually getting to a level, out of the youth league, and no disrespect to the second Regionalliga, but that's not, it's
Right.
not it. Like, if you want to actually get to a high level, it's fine if you play NBBL, but I think after that, and if you want to make these major steps or want to go pro, you got to play Pro B, in my opinion. That's, or at least first Regionalliga, but and me being able to play Pro B my first year, and I only had a 1-year deal with the Pro B team, and I actually played on the Regionalliga team too, on the second Regionalliga. I played both teams, and I think that, me getting a lot of minutes in the Regionalliga 1 more year and playing in Pro B like 15, 20 minutes helped me to develop. And then obviously Livio, I work with Livio a lot,
Yeah.
him being there back then, still, coaching the second team, because they actually had a second team under, the Braunschweig Löwen, was big too, just because, playing in Pro B a lot and then practicing with the first league every day, just, playing against pro, getting better, and then actually taking that to the floor at a higher level, I think was major and was basically the ground, it set everything, for me to move on after that.
I think that was a really good time for you young guys. It was you, Robin, Bogey, um, who else did you guys have? You guys had
Maurice,
Maurice Buscotto. You guys had
Sid,
Sid Morantais. That's right. You
again,
guys had some real talent that are still
before that,
playing
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we even like all the talent I played with back then basically played Pro B or even went to first league after that. Lucas Guedes was still there. Brian Benson was there. Even Howard Sanruz, the Cuban guy.
He was in
He played.
Panathinaikos.
Yeah, exactly. He played EuroLeague. So, I mean, we had a lot of guys that went through the program that actually, went to Pro A or first league, and it was crazy because we played without foreigners
Yeah.
in the Pro B. A lot of the Pro B teams, I mean, they always get 1 or 2 foreigners or Americans, and then now you got the rule. I think you can have 1 American and 2 Europeans, maybe something like this, and we never had one. So, or actually, we got my first year. We had Howie, obviously, and then the second year we got, I think his name was Stephen Bennett.
Yeah, I remember him.
We signed him through or in December or something like that. We signed him late. And the last year we played, it was just all double license player practicing with the first league. It was 5 or 6 of us. And yeah, we made it to the playoffs, had our run or whatever, but it's just all Germans, and that chemistry also, we all going through the same things, kind of the same age group and stuff. So that's that was just, you know, a lot of fun.
I thought that was that was my first year. I think that was your second year here. And so I was assisting with the Pro B team, and just seeing the responsibility that you guys had, that you guys were able to play free without regard to making mistakes or anything like that. That's so important for a young player's confidence. You know, you guys could just really take responsibility and play free. And without the thought, okay, America's going to come in and shoot 20 times, and I'm not going to ever get the ball. Nothing against Americans. I mean, I'm obviously
But you know,
American.
but that's the job they get. You know, when they come over here, I mean,
Exactly.
it's all honesty. You come over, we sign you to be the best player. You know,
Yeah.
like you got to produce over here. Like that's just, I don't need to sign an American. That's just brutal honest. I'm gonna have to sign it if you're just as good as a German I have. You know, like I give you money, I bring you over here to produce, and that's just, it's simple. And if you're not doing that, then I'm sorry, but I'm not spending money on. They're not going to spend money on young Germans and develop them. You know, so
Exactly.
that's just, it's a chance for you and for us. So that's just the balance. You know.
And I think that's the mind shift, that thought process. Well, okay, I got some young Germans that I can develop. I don't need to pay for so American and things like that. I think that's the switch that took a lot of time, but now is really prevalent here in Germany. And I tell people all the time when I do my consultations or things like that with them that like a guy will write me and say, hey, I'm coming out of JUCO. I'm like, yo, man, you better go back to school because they got good young Germans your age. They don't need to bring you over here. You're not mentally finished. You're not physically finished. You're not a finished product. They're not bringing you over here to be a glue guy. You have to be that guy, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, a 21-year-old, they got a 21-year-old sitting on the first team bench that plays Pro B that they can develop. Why spend money on a guy that's not finished just because he's an American? I mean,
yeah, that's. I even tell. I mean, I tell a lot of my teammates that come over here, you know, and they like, man, why am I not playing more, man? Why is he playing? I'm like, because you got to understand, they bring you over to actually produce, man. Like you and a foreigner, like it sounds bad, but they can just replace you. It's millions.
They can't
You know,
replace
it's
the
like,
German.
no, they can't because they need them. You know, so it's just, that's the mindset where I'm like, you know, that's like you said, it shifted. Plus, at some point, it's just like they do a lot that they let Germans play, and then when they see, okay, it comes down, we might move down, or they want to make the push. That's when they sign an American and bring him over to get him over the hump. Which is, then you got to know your role. They're bringing you over, get it done. Like it's your chance to show. And a lot of times, I think Americans, they got to be better than what the league is. They come in, they get the chance. It's basically a chance for them to showcase themselves. But you're not gonna. A lot of times when you sign late, you're not gonna get the job where you think you should be playing. You're gonna be playing under your level, but you got to produce like you're a first league player in the second league. You know, it's just like, and then you get the shot to go going up. You know, but
Okay, back to you, man. So, so you had 3 years here in Braunschweig. What was your next move?
So after Braunschweig, I took my chance and I went to first league, NBC. I went to Vice Test. That was my next station. Next 2 years, I was out there, and yeah, my mindset going out there is basically just like after practicing, you know, with the first league in Braunschweig, I felt like, you know, I can play there. Like I belong.
How
Like
old
I can,
were
you
you?
know.
How old were you when you took that step?
So I was 23. I turned 23 that summer. That's when I went there. And yeah, basically I just, you know, I had talked with the coach and, you know, with the organization, and the coach was like, yeah, you know, nothing against you. I like you, you know, but I just felt at that point, he was like, we got a lot of Germans on your position. And I just decided to go with the other guy just because I felt like, you know, he's from here and he's a local kid. So I just want to, you know, I want to play him, which I was like, all right, if you say so, if you think he's better than me, then that's what you think. And he was like, yeah, if you need any recommendations or whatever, let me know. I'll talk to the coaches. I said, appreciate it. You know, obviously I wasn't rude. I said, thank you a lot. You know, thanks for everything, you know, and I'm going to move on. And then I think a week later, I had a tryout at that time. And I tried out for NBC. The coaches, they liked me. And they was like, all right, you want to get a job here? So I had a backup role. I was supposed to play like 10 minutes. And first league, I got my shot where I was like, okay, I belong. I'm going to gonna show them I can play. Yep.
And you were there 2 years. What was it like? Did you guys stay in the league that first year, or was that the year they moved down?
Just to move down. It was bad. We had we actually we started, man. I think we played 10 games. It was like 2-8 or 2-9.
Mhm.
And when the coach is all right, you know what? We make some changes. And then he let me play, whatever, and that's when I started. We was losing, and he started me because before I was playing like 10 minutes, and then he started me. I started playing more. I think I started playing 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and I started playing more and more. And then our coach, I want to say he quit. Said he had a burnout. Silvano Potopat. That's who gave me the job. He basically he left us because he had a burnout. He couldn't coach us no more. And then Pedra Krunic, he took over. Yeah, he took over, and we played a tight 6-7 man rotation, and
He's
it was
known for that,
basically
yeah.
it was basically me and 6 foreigners playing, and from there on out, I think at the end we won 7 out of 12 games, and we tied Göttingen and Bremerhaven for points, but point differential, the point spread, we had a deficit, so we moved down. Yeah, last game of the season.
And then you played that next season in the Pro A?
Yeah, we played in the Pro A, and we won, I think, 27 out of 30.
Mhm.
First, we lost 3 games, and then playoffs, we went 8-0, ran through the league. I think we won by a margin of average of plus 20 in the playoffs, and moved straight back up. Yeah.
What was so special about that particular team?
Man, there was a bunch of veterans, all honesty. We didn't play a big rotation. I think we played like eight man. The ninth man played a little bit, but it was like 8 guys. It was like 3 Germans, and we had 5 foreigners. And then the 4th German played a little bit, but it was Sergio Carush, who was German American, me and Chacha, Ahmad Jazai,
Yeah.
It was us 3 as Germans. Then we had Sebastian Fülle and Benedikt Tulic, who was on here also.
Yeah.
Them 2 was 4 and 5 at the German spots, and then we had 5 foreigners, and that's who we was going with. And I don't know, it was just a mix of having Marcus Hatton on here, who was first league veteran. Pantelic was on our team, big veteran, just smart IQ, and we had young guys, Andrew Warren, who played first league, and we just had a good mix of actually. I think it was the first league team, all honesty, and it was just like a whole bunch of fun. We had a young, I think Croatian coach. I think he was Croatian. Igor Jovovic. I think he's Croatian, but young guy, just a modern Balkan guy. Let's say it like this, he's still Balkan, but he was modern. He was younger, refreshionary, not as strict in the old, Balkan ways. But no, it was a good mix, man, out of young and old, and we just clicked from the get-go, and we knew exactly what to do at certain times.
So then you went to Karlsruhe after that?
No, I went back to Bremerhaven.
Oh, you went to that's right. That's right. You went back to Bremerhaven.
Yeah.
How was it going back home after being gone for a while?
It was funny. I mean, I liked it. Like, it was I kind of felt like, when I left Bremerhaven, they didn't really believe in me. I guess that's why I left, because they was like, they didn't believe in me. The management back then, they was like, yeah, you probably won't be a pro, never will be. So I obviously took that as motivation. It was like, all right, I'm gonna prove y'all. So when I came back, I was like, okay, now y'all want me to come back. So, and then I don't know, I put a lot of pressure on myself, I think. So
Being
it
back
was
home.
cool. Yeah, exactly. Being back home, trying to prove everybody. It was cool. Family, friends, and everybody was there. But obviously, playing home is still different than being away. And obviously, I don't know. Season didn't go too well on the athletic side or sports side, basketball wise. It wasn't the best season I had, but I think as a human being, I learned a lot that season. About myself, about everything else, and I think that's where I made the biggest growth personally.
That's important, and not a lot of people really reflect on that's also a part of it. It's not the basketball, but you're going to be a human for the next 35 years after you retire too. So if you don't have that growth, or if you don't notice that you've changed over the years, then something is wrong.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And you got to understand, it's a business. It is a business at some point in time. I mean, I don't care how much you love basketball, but you got to understand it's a business, and it's nothing really personal. It's just everybody looks out for themselves, club managers, agents, whoever. They, even players, like they tell you one thing, and it's just like, but they're out on their own, just trying to make it, you know. So it's just you
Mhm.
can't be mad at anybody, you know. And I just realized, you know, I did some wrong, you know. I showed up late and I got punished for it, which is, you know, was my own fault because I was in, I don't know, I don't want to say my feelings, but you know, I was going through some stuff personally, and I didn't play good, and I just got
Mhm.
frustrated, and then I didn't show up to practice on time. I think I was late like like three, four times, you know, and I got fined or whatever and stuff like that, and then I didn't play anymore. And you know, at that point, I was probably the last to show up to practice. I was last in the gym, first out, just every day, just going 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. And then my assistant coach, Chris Harris, actually, who was the coach in Hagen Pro A, he actually helped me kind of out of that hole. You know,
Mhm.
he called me. He was like, "Yo, DJ, everything is good, like good with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what you talking about?" He was like, "Yeah, I don't know. You just seem different. Like you don't joke around. You're not, you know, like you're not joyful anymore. You're not, you know, you don't show the extra work. You don't do nothing." I'm like, I mean, there's no fun at it right now. And that's when I realized it's a business. It's not just all fun and games, you know. It's not just what you love. It's all like there's also another side to it. And he basically told me like, "Yo, you gotta understand, the coach might not like you, but you're not doing it for him. You're not doing it for anybody. You know, you're doing it for
Don't
yourself.
yourself.
So
Mhm.
look in the mirror and be honest to yourself and ask yourself, are you doing everything possibly in your hand that you're going to play, that he got to put you in?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, look at yourself. Just reflect on it. Give me a call tomorrow. And so, you know, I thought about it that night, and I called him the next day, and I looked at him. I said, no, I'm not. He's like, so what you doing? I was like, yeah, well, I'm not. He was like, exactly. Put in extra work. If you want to put in extra work, you don't want to quit after the season. He said, you want to keep playing, and you're not doing it for him. You're doing it for yourself. So he said, if you need something, I'm here. So from there on out, I think I showed up to practice hour early, worked out. After practice, worked out. Guys had a regeneration day. I didn't care. I worked out. My guy, he was hurt. David Brimley, he was hurt. We was working out before games, 2.5 hours. We work out. Guys come there, like, yo, what y'all doing? I was like, I can be full drain sweat. It doesn't work out for 5 minutes, 5 seconds. I ain't got to be fresh. I can do that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's when I learned, like, okay, you're doing it for yourself. Yeah, look out for other guys, but you know, you're doing it for yourself, and you got to motivate yourself to keep going. And that's basically where I was like, okay. And I think that's where I took my next step of, you know, being a
That's
pro and
maturity.
the approach. Yeah.
That's maturity. That's also realizing that it's a business and taking that step mature wise. And I mean, the good thing is that you had a coach that noticed it, picked up on it, spoke to you about it in a way that wasn't threatening, like, you know, like some coaches, like, hey, why are you not coming in the gym? And, you know, but really like pulled you to the side and say, yo, this is the situation. You're not doing what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at yourself in the mirror. And a lot of teams, honestly, they don't have coaches like that because
Yeah.
because it's a business. So basically, the coach is like, okay, if he's not doing what he has to do, I got somebody else that I can put in, you know, and I'm not gonna worry about it. He'll be gone next year anyway. So,
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, he did, and he's a great guy, man, really. And the coach didn't like me. I guess the other coach didn't like me, the head coach. But you know, at the end, he had no choice. He had to play me because I put in the work, and when he called my number at the end, I delivered. So he had no choice but to play me when he had, you know, when it was my turn, because he was like, I can't play the other guys because they're not producing, and just because I don't like him, I got to play him because he's doing his work, and when I put him on the court, he's not fucking up.
yeah.
So it's, you know, it's just, yeah. So that was good. I learned a lot from that, and that's, you know, actually paved my way for the, you know, the rest of my career and all
before we
I
move
to
on,
today.
going forward, I want to say, like, it's always weird to go back to a team that you've left. I had that one time. I played for a team for 4 years, and then I was gone for some years, and then I came back, and that shit sucked. That shit was so terrible because, of course, they move on, and you come back, and it wasn't the role that I expected to
Mhm.
have. It wasn't the same role that I had before I left, you know, and it was just weird. It was nasty, and I think and I ended up leaving. I was like, no, I'm out. I can't do
Mhm.
this. This is not the same kind of place. It was the same coach, almost a lot of the same players, but things have evolved,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I also evolved, and it wasn't cool. So I can imagine how it is going back to your home team where you grew up, the
Hmm.
pressures that brings. You got your friends, you got your family, you got all of that, and as a young player that wants to prove himself as well, um, that yeah, that's tough, you know. And I salute you, man, for sticking through that, because that could have been the end of your career. That could have been seriously the end of your career. And that's also a mental health thing as well, you know, that nobody was talking about back then, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%,
You know,
100%. And
so
I had a 2 year deal too.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
a 2 year deal. It was locked in. I mean, I was supposed to stay another season. I was supposed to be out there, but I talked to my agent too after. It was some different owner back then and all kind of stuff. It's like a bunch of stuff, and head coach stayed or whatever. And even like that, head coach told me back then, he was like, "Yo, I think next year is going to be a better year for you. You had the pressure on yourself, and I think it's fine. You're going to be better. We're going to get different guys, and we're not going." I was like, "All right, cool." And then obviously, like a week later, I read the newspaper or something different. And I'm like, well, and I'm like,
That's the
I mean,
business, right?
it's a business. It's a business. And at that time, I was just like, that's fine. I understand it's a business. And I told my agent, like, yo, all honesty, if you don't want me here, I don't want to be here, because I want to be appreciated, Like, I know what I can bring to the table, and I know what I can bring to an organization and to a team. And it's not just stats or anything else, And I was just like, yo, if they don't want me, that's fine. I'm not going to depend on my money or anything. Like, I don't, like, it's fine. Like, just pay me whatever you want to pay me, basically, and I was like, I'm gonna be out. So yeah, we came to an agreement, and yeah, I
And then
left.
where'd you
So,
go?
and then that's when I went to college, and mentally, obviously, like you said, mental health, man. It's just I was at a place where I was like, man, I'm just trying to get out of there. Basically, I was just like, I'm happy with anything, and that's when I went to college or pro A.
Mhm. You were 1 year there?
1 year, yeah, I only did 1 year.
1 year there, and then you go to Chemnitz. And for me, when you went to Chemnitz, that's for my purposes, that's when you were like a proven player. There, your development. I don't want to say it stopped there, but that's where it was like, that's DJ right there.
Hmm.
He's got the responsibility on the team. He's got a role. He found somewhere that fits him really good. I thought you played fabulous there. What do you think?
No, definitely. I think, I mean, also, I'm obviously cultural was cultural. That was basically a year for me just to get away, and I don't know,
Mhm.
trying to find myself again,
Yeah.
find to my game, whatever. And I want to say maybe the playoffs was actually, or like towards the end of the season, that's when I found myself again, and
Mhm.
actually, and that's the playoffs. We played against Chemnitz, the playoffs in the quarters, in the quarterfinals, and that's when I played like I used to play, like I had fun, I had joy playing basketball again, and it was just like, okay. And when I went to Chemnitz, like you said, I think I went somewhere where the organization wanted me,
Mhm.
appreciated me the way I am,
Mhm.
and used me the way I am too, and
Mhm.
didn't try to make anything of me that I'm not, And they used me for who I am, kept developing me, obviously sharpened my skills, but
Yeah.
like you said, it was just like that's who I am, And I feel like that was the first club, in all honesty, that understood who I am as a player, And
Mhm.
I was never the guy that's, I'm gonna get you 20, I'm gonna get you 30 every night. Like, I can, don't get me wrong, like I can get a bucket, but it's just not, that's not how I play basketball. And that's just what, organization where I felt home, where I was like, okay, I love being here. I actually love being here, working for these guys, working for the city,
Mhm.
working for this club, because I felt so appreciated over there that, I was amazed that that actually happened or existed in sports like that, because I didn't never experience anything like that.
All right. What was your highlight in Chemnitz?
I mean, obviously, two things come to mind. First, the Pro A year, when it was basically our last game of the season, the Corona year. It was 2019, 2020, the year. It was in March, I think it was March, beginning of March. We played our last game March 10th or something, and I shot a buzzer beater to go to second overtime, and then we won in second overtime. I think
I
137 to
remember
132 or something like that. That was a crazy feeling, because the whole gym erupted, and while I was on the court, I got goosebumps and everything.
that.
It was such an insane feeling.
Yeah.
And then obviously the one against Munich, the shot against Munich, it
Yeah.
was, I mean, just surreal. Until this day, I don't know. It's just, it's like I shot the ball without thinking. I didn't even expect the ball to come to me, because I was on the court. I mean, I played well, and our guy George King, he fouled out at the end, and coach like, "Yo, DJ, go in." And I was like, "Huh? What? Like, what you mean? 4 minutes left? Like, what you mean go in against Munich?" And yeah, I went in and we played, and Marcus Thornton, who was our first option because he hit a game buzzer beater the game before, like 2 days before we played, I think Hamburg, I want to say, and he shot a buzzer beater against them. So it was like, all right, Marcus, go get the ball, do what you got to do. And he created something, kicked it out to Terrell. Terrell kicked it back to him, and I was like, all right, he's gonna go up because I seen him open. I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden he turned around and kicked the ball back to me, and that's all she wrote. I mean, that's just, I blacked out basically. I caught the ball, just shot, and it went in, and just I don't know. It was crazy.
So after there, you moved into
After Chemnitz, that's when I moved to Koblenz. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the attraction for you to move to Koblenz to keep your career going there?
All honesty, I mean, I played most of my career. I played second league or Pro A and first league, and it's for me. I got married 2021. So after my second year in Chemnitz, I got married, and I even said after the first year in Chemnitz, I was like, all right, this year is kind of like a do or die year for me, just mentally for me, because I was just like, hey, I want to see if I can still do it, prove myself, I can still play first league. And just depending on that year, how I play, I'm going to decide if I keep going, pursuing a full pro way, or if I just go in a different direction. Since I got married, you got to, can't just think about yourself. Exactly, And I'm 31 now. A lot of friends get married, birthdays, people get kids, a lot of my friends. And I miss all that because of basketball. That's the sacrifice I'm taking. I mean, that's every athlete. But I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I got a family of my own. I got my wife now, and I don't know, hopefully soon, we'll get a kid in a year or two. I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, what is plan B? Like, do I have anything else? And now basically Koblenz gave me the perfect opportunity to combine basketball and school. So I'm getting my bachelor's degree in business now. In my last year now, I'm fifth semester, and everything going accordingly well. So yeah, hopefully I'll have that in my pocket after this year, and then I'm gonna have one more year in my contract and play basketball, and then we'll see after that. But I just wanted to ensure myself that I had something for after basketball, because basketball doesn't go forever, and you obviously here in Germany you can't do it like the States. You can't go to college, get your degree, and play at a high level. It's like you got to choose either or, and being in first league and actually going to college, because I know myself, I'm not too good with Fernstudium. That's not me. Like,
Online
studying at home, like online classes and stuff, I don't do too well. I'm a person, I got to go to class and sit there, even though if I don't write anything, but just hearing the guy talking to me, I do better with that. So I decided to come here, play Pro B 1 year, and ambitions of the club, they want to move up, they want to keep going. And I feel like with my, experience and expertise, I can help the team and the club move up while I'm getting my degree. So now we moved up to Pro A, and this is, it's a great stretch for me.
What do you still have like basketball goals that you want to reach, or have you kind of? I mean, you're 31. It's not like you're still kind of like in your prime for a basketball player. Is there still something that you kind of, that kind of gets you going, that you want to reach?
Like, I want to win. All honesty, like I'm the type of person, I want to win at everything. I don't care what it is. If we play card games, I just want to win. So actually, I would like to move up again. Like that's just, I moved up 3 times down my career. I did it once with NBC, once in Chemnitz, obviously, and then here this year. And I just love the feeling of winning, like just moving up. So that's obviously one of my goals, to get the team there and, move them up. Personally, I would like, if there's a chance, to play first league one more time, just so I can also prove myself, like, I can do it. Because I felt like I could have kept playing. I just decided to, move this route just because I can get my education. And I think myself, I would like to prove myself, like, okay, it's not just a feeling. I know I can still do it. Like, because like you said, I mean, 31, I'm still in my prime. It's not like I'm old. Like, it's, But obviously over here, once I'm done with my contract, I think I'm going to be 33, 2 more years. 33. So then that's when you kind of get to the like veteran side over here, obviously, in German. Oh, yeah, exactly. So if it's possible, I think I would like to play one year first league, if it's possible.
This is a really messed up question, I know, but which of the 3 times where you've moved up with a team is the one you can't give away?
I can't give away?
Yeah, I'm sure all three are special, but there's always that one that just kind of tops it all. And I know it's a really shitty question, but I'm asking. This is my show.
Uh, um, I think this last one.
Mm.
I think this last one. Like you said, they all special in a certain way, you know. Like just coming. All honesty, I think the first one, NBC, was the easiest one,
Uh,
most obvious one for me. I don't know. It was like no doubt in my mind. We moved down. We're a first league team. Like we're gonna
we're gonna
move
move
back up.
back
Like I
up.
don't care.
Right,
We had first league players on our team.
right.
The one in Chemnitz was so special just because the way I learned how to play basketball again, or like fell in love with basketball again.
Right.
Just the way the philosophy of Coach Rodrigo was insane, and just every player really so joyful for each other. Like nobody, there was no envy, nobody cared. Like we just all had fun out there, just. And the fan culture out there was incredible, and I wish they could have actually been in the stadium with us when we moved up. But no, this last one was, phew, that was a fight, man. Really, it was just the hardest one in my opinion. Because I mean, it was a Pro B one, but
Don't
I don't
matter.
care, man.
Don't
The,
matter.
the year before we were supposed to move up, we had a team. We were supposed to move up. We had a bunch of turbulences. Coach got fired like 3 weeks before the playoffs started the first year. It was just a bunch of up and downs, and then just having basically the main guys just like, all right, we're gonna do it this year. Like, Marvin Heckler, our point guard, he stayed. He could have left. He stayed. He was like, no, we're gonna, see this through. And just we had like I think two additions, maybe three additions to the team. It was like, all right, the guys, we're gonna make it this year. And just going through that whole season, having injuries, having being sick, having Pat Elsie coach as a coach, it's just incredible, man. So it's just actually getting there, like getting over the hump. Failing one year before and getting on. That's just yeah, I don't know. I think that was the most special one.
Speaking of those two coaches, Pat. I mean, for those of you that are living in Germany, I think everybody in Germany knows who Pat Elsie is. But Rodrigo, and I played against him
Didn't
back in the day. Yeah, and he was, you play against some guys and you think, oh, this dude is smart as hell. Like
he?
you can see some players that you think like, yeah, he's gonna be a good coach one day. And that was what I thought of him when I played against him back then.
100%, man. In my opinion, he's a mastermind. Really, like he does so many things. He's a basketball freak. Like he lives on it. Like I'm like, Coach, what are you doing? Like guy sends us clips every day. The off season sends us clips. Yo, you see this? You seen that? He comes to the gym, talks about basketball, talks about the European Championship back then. It's just all kind of stuff, man. He's so involved in that stuff, man. He really lives it. Like it's incredible. But man, I think he does such a great, amazing job of bonding teams, forming teams, and getting them to play the way they want to. Because you always got some guys that just are in their feelings and feel like, man, that doesn't work. It works my way. But for some reason, he always finds a way to stay ahead of the curve. And he's good friends with Trinchieri from Munich. That was in Munich, and I don't know. I mean, they get along. He probably gets a lot from him also, but Rodrigo just always stays ahead of the curve, man. I mean, look at the play he brings out. Nelson Vitamin had an incredible year. And Kevin Yebo now last season, unbelievable, man. People gave up on him, and it's just, he just gets the best out of players, man. So I salute him, man. Really.
I thought he did a really good job with what's the guy, the young guy that was he was supposed to be like one of the greatest German talents.
Niklas Wimbeck, man.
Yeah,
That's my boy.
yeah.
No, that's my boy. Shout out.
I think he did a great job with him. I think without Rodrigo, he doesn't end up in Munich.
Probably not. No. Kid is really one of the hardest workers, man. Like I knew him back then because I played against Pro B with him when we was in Brunswick. We played Pro B against him, and I seen him play, and obviously playing against somebody is always one thing. Getting to know somebody else is just like, okay, he's different, and really the nicest dude, and probably one of the hardest workers I know. Really, man, this guy is a gym rat. He stays in the gym, and he did too much. Like he hurt, he keeps going. I'm like, yo, Nick, don't you want to relax? No, I got to keep working. And that was the perfect match for him going to Chemnitz. Really, like Rodrigo got him to, got his confidence back. His mental game, and just realizing like play your strength out. Play to your strength. Don't shy away. Like do what you're supposed to do. I trust you, and he gave him a lot of trust, man. He gave him so much confidence, and that's like you said, man. Without him, he wouldn't be there. But also, I think Kimness wouldn't be there without him.
True.
I think so.
True.
Yeah.
All right, man. I only got a couple more questions. Who was your guy growing up? Like, I mean, I want to talk. We've been talking a lot about Germany, so we're gonna keep it in Germany. Who was that player for you when you were growing up that you looked up to as a player that played in Germany that you were like, that's my guy? For me, I mean, I was a pro at that time still, but I still looked up to him like crazy. It was Wendell Alexis, but I'm an old head, so for me, Iceman, he was that guy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, who was that for you?
When I was young, I didn't really like. I really don't know. To be honest, when I was young, I didn't watch BBL in Bundesliga. Like when I was young, I was basketball fanatic. I love basketball, but I never watched basketball like German, like BBL and stuff. Obviously, I saw Pascal Roller and them, that era. I saw them play, but I was never like a really, BBL German league. I was always like, man, Germany sucks, blah blah. I was one of them, like, no, NBA is a lot better, And I was obviously I'm a LeBron fan, pops from Cleveland, got to be you from there. But no, but when I came back and actually understood what basketball actually is and the difference between European basketball and American basketball, it's just they're two different worlds. It's two different games, basically. Who I love watching is Darius Miller when he was in Bamberg. I just thought he was incredible, really, him. Ricky Pauling, obviously. I mean, that's just obvious. That's just an obvious one. And who I got to actually play with and, was Emmanuel McElroy. Yeah. Just the way he is just like, he would like be quiet, man. He don't ever talk. He just like, but on the court, he's a dog. It was unbelievable. Yeah, and then obviously Isaiah Swan was the complete opposite. I think the way he carried himself on the like
extrovert and
exactly. That's kind of who I am, but I think I talk a lot, but then I'll back it up also. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. But like those guys, but yeah, Darius Miller, like on the opposite team, even playing against them, Darius Miller and Ricky Pauling probably it was the ones in the BBL that I was like, okay, I looked up to, and I was like, yo, I'm trying to, I don't know, play similar to them.
We're gonna do kiss, kill, or marry. You've got to kiss one team, kill one team, marry one team. A team that you've played for. So we're gonna go with Bremerhaven. We're gonna go with Chemnitz, and we're gonna go with NBC. This should be interesting. Kiss, kill, or marry. Yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus, bro. I'm throwing you under the bus.
Hey, I'm a married Chemnitz. I don't care. I'm a married Chemnitz.
Okay, married Chemnitz.
That's obvious for me.
You got kiss and kill left. You got Bremerhaven and what did I say? Bremerhaven and
NBC.
NBC. Yeah. Yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus with this one, though.
Yeah, it's bad. Man, the thing is, just off how I played and what went,
what went down.
I'm gonna kill Bremerhaven and kiss NBC just because they gave me the chance back then playing first league and stuck to me.
I got you.
And Bremerhaven just didn't go too well for me.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that. So, man, that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. I think we went a lot into the German side as well, which should be good information for young Germans, especially. And I appreciate you for also admitting, your flaws, your mental health issues, which is something that we as athletes don't really talk about quite often. Hardly anyone does. Now it's a little bit different, but so I appreciate that as well, man. And I can say, man, I've seen the development that you've made, not just as an athlete, but also a man. And I can say, I'm proud of you, young dude. I mean, you're married now. You know you're doing your thing. Back when you were here, you were that cockfire American swag, where everybody's like, "What this white dude talking about over there? Was it? Oh, he black? Oh yeah, okay, all right." You know what I'm saying? So it's a totally different vibe, and I've seen that progression and I follow you. I might not write all the time, but I follow you and make sure I keep up to date with what you're doing, man. And that's why I wanted to have you on. So I appreciate the time we've shared together and just your openness. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. You'll figure out if you want to keep playing or you want to move on, and you'll be happy with that decision, man. You'll be
Yeah,
happy with that decision.
I appreciate you for having me on, first of all, and then yeah, I just it's good knowing you, and seeing what you're doing. I mean, obviously, I'll follow your platform, and especially for Germans and for Americans coming over, just getting to know how it works, what the procedures are. But I think my only message would be, hey man, just hey, believe in yourself,
Yeah.
work and believe in yourself, and even when stuff doesn't go well, like don't give up. Like not right away. There's always somebody that's looking. So I think body language is a lot, and don't like mess it up for yourself because I think you yourself is most important. Admit to yourself if you're wrong, and then just head down, keep working, man. Somebody gonna see it. Somebody gonna give you the chance, and then be ready when you get it.
Yes, sir. That's a good way to end it up. Appreciate you, my guy. Get on up out of here. Get on
All
the
right, man.
road with the rest of
Thank
your
you. All
evening. I appreciate you, man.
right, take care. Bye.
Later. Yeah. So, teammates, that is the next one in the books, and I'm glad to have someone on that I know and really, I really saw his development. I coached him as well, and had a chance to be around him a lot, and just the development that he made over the course of all these years has been pretty dope to see. Not just as a hooper, that as well, but also as a man, and his the way he talks and everything is just totally different than back then. Of course, he was younger, but he's really developed mentally as well. So yeah, that's it for me for tonight. Do I have one next week? Do I have a what? Ooh, I don't even know if I have one next week. It might be the week after that. I've got a couple more guests, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the show. I've said that about 3 times already, and it never really happens. But I think I need to take a little bit of a break because I've got too much going on right now, and something's got to give. But I'll be for sure back periodically as well. There's some guests that I still want to get on, and if they ever answer me back, then I'll be sure to slide them in. So yeah, that's it for me tonight. Head out.